Alright, it is literally 30 degrees right now, okay? And I refuse to turn off my aircon, so I'm really sorry if you can hear that in the background. Sorry not sorry though, because I don't want to roast. Hi folks, Harry here, and today I'm going to be giving you yet another video that's going to make me lose at least 90% of my subscribers. Today I'm going to be sharing with you my most unpopular Stephen King opinions. So today I'm going to be giving you 10 opinions that I have about Stephen King's work that may be considered quite unpopular. First of all though, before we get into the video, if you are a Stephen King fan, please consider subscribing to the channel because it makes me happy, okay? It makes me smile when I see I've got new subscribers, so please do it. Okay, so now that you subscribe to the channel, I'm going to make you immediately unsubscribe by saying that the Colorado... That's not the Colorado Kid. The Colorado Kid, Elevation, and Insomnia are all good. I'm going to start off with the Colorado Kid though. Yeah, that is the Colorado Kid, that's not Elevation. The Colorado Kid isn't actually good, so I did lie there, but I don't think it deserves the amount of hate that it gets. I rated this book 2.5 stars, so I really didn't like it. It was nothing more than average. But this book gets so much hate, and I can definitely see why, but I'm going to tell you why I disagree. So The Colorado Kid is basically a mystery novel where the mystery is never solved. It's just a bunch of people talking about the mystery, but you never actually get any answers. That in itself is the reason why a lot of people don't like it. You don't get many answers, if any answers. But I didn't mind that. Personally, I'm a fan of Haruki Murakami, and if you've ever read a single Murakami book, you know that you never get answers in any of these. So because of that, I've come to appreciate books where you don't really get many answers. You just dive into the story, you read it, you have a million questions, they may not be answered, but you just leave it. Sometimes that gives off an unsettling effect, which is always effective, especially in like mysteries or thrillers or horror. And sometimes it just keeps you guessing. It's open to interpretation, and it's really, really fun to read. So yeah, even though The Colorado Kid is not a great book, it does not deserve the hate that it gets. I also said that Elevation is good. Let me elaborate on this one. This book I genuinely believe is great, and I genuinely do not understand why this book gets the hate that it does. Like with The Colorado Kid, I can totally see why people don't like it. This one, I think that the criticism it gets is just completely... What's the word? Like, unjustifiable. This book is about a man called Scott who continuously loses weight, and you never really find out why. But he loses weight to the point where he literally starts to, like, float. To me, Elevation just feels like a novella version, more light-hearted version of Thinner, which is definitely a better book. I do enjoy Thinner a lot more. But there's nothing wrong with Elevation. It's just a sweet, light-hearted story. You don't really get many answers. Maybe that's why people don't like it. While I'm actually vocalising it, I'm starting to figure out why people might not like it. But there's nothing really wrong with it. I also said that I think Insomnia is very good, and some people will agree with me here because this isn't that much of an unpopular opinion, but a lot of people will disagree with me. This book follows a man called Ralph who starts experiencing insomnia, and he goes out for these walks where he sees things in the world that other people can't see, and it's just generally really, really unsettling. It has a lot of ties to the Dark Tower series, and anyone who knows me knows that I love the Dark Tower series. My YouTube username is named after a quote from it, and it's just generally a really, really fun time, so I don't understand why this book gets a lot of hate. Next up, if you've seen my video where I ranked all of the Richard Bachman books from worst to best, you will know this one already, but this is a very unpopular opinion of mine. I think that Blaze is the best Bachman book. Blaze is like Stephen King's take on Of Mice and Men, and I'm a sucker for retellings. I really, really enjoy that sort of thing. But the main character, Blaze, is like comedically stupid, and I love the Stephen King comedically stupid character. We've seen that in Wolf, in The Talisman, and Tom Cullen in The Stand, and it's just really, really fun to see. But I really, really liked it. I loved everything about this book. The ending shocked me so much. I was not expecting it, but I still loved it. I loved everything about this book, and I personally think that this is even better than The Long Walk. It's so hot. Oh my god. Ugh. This is what I get for living on an island in the f***ing Mediterranean. It is too hot to function. Alright, so the heat is killing me, but you guys are also going to kill me as well, because I'm going to say that Wolves of the Cala is not that good. Okay, I'm actually going to be suffering from the heat all throughout this video. I'm so sorry, but I'm going to lose so many subscribers because everyone loves Wolves of the Cala, and I just don't. I thought it was really bloated. Look. It's huge. This thing is huge. It borrows from a lot of other fantasies that I've read. It's kind of a little bit too weird. Like, there are weird robots that dress like Doctor Doom. But this did introduce a more meta part of the series, which I won't talk about because it is kind of spoilery. But I did enjoy that. But in general, Wolves of the Callow is one of my least favourite Dark Tower books. I just think it was really lackluster, despite how long it is. Just didn't tickle my fancy. Okay, next up, I don't know how unpopular of opinion this is, but a lot of people say that Night Shift is the best Stephen King short story collection, but I'm gonna have to disagree. I think that Skeleton Crew is the best Stephen King short story collection. Now, don't get me wrong, Night Shift has some great stories in here, some great, fantastic, mind-blowingly terrifying stories. I love it. There were less stories in Skeleton Crew than in Night Shift that I didn't care for. There are so many really, really good short stories in here that stand out so much. So I'm just gonna list off a few. The Mist, The Monkey, Cain Rose Up, Mrs. Todd's Shortcut, The Jaunt, The Raft, Word Processor of the Gods, Survivor Type. Survivor Type is probably my favourite Stephen King short story. I love it so much. Grammar was really, really good. Nona was good. Just so good. It's a really, really good short story collection. And I enjoyed it more than Night Shift. Okay, next up, if you know me at all, you know that my favourite Stephen King book of all time is Firestarter, and this itself is an unpopular opinion, so I'm just going to talk about it here. You guys are probably sick to death of listening to me talk about Firestarter, but I can't stop talking about it because it's my favourite thing in the entire universe. Firestarter follows a little girl called Charlie McGee who has pyrokinesis, and she is being chased down by this government organisation called The Shop so that they can kind of harness her power for weaponry. It's such an engaging story, and I genuinely think that this is Stephen King's best work. I think it beats The Shining, I think it beats The Stand, I think it beats It. Controversial, but that's the whole point of this video. I'm sharing my controversial opinions about Stephen King's works. I genuinely do believe that this is Stephen King's best work, his most inventive work. A lot of people say that this book is a rip-off of Carrie, but the only similarity is it's got a girl with powers. They were just published 6 years apart, so people seem to think that they're similar. I just love everything about this book. I think it was executed a million times better than Carrie. I think this has one of the best pacings of any Stephen King book. I just love everything about it. This is the only Stephen King book where I would not change a single aspect. Next up, you are going to crucify me, because I think that newer Stephen King works are generally better than older Stephen King works. You might as well just pin me to my bookshelf. The heat is killing me, and you guys probably are too. I can hear you typing your hate comments. I do believe that over the years, Stephen King has only improved in his writing style, but it's been a little bit of a roller coaster. King kicked off his career with Carrie. It's a really, really great book, and it's fantastic. He kept up this amazing talent until around the mid-90s, and then it started to get bad. In 2001, he released Dreamcatcher, which is my least favourite book in the entire universe. And then more recently, with works like Later, 11/22/63, and The Institute, he has massively, massively improved his writing style. I can make a whole video about this if you like. I think that Stephen King's writing style now is a lot more concise, a lot more tight, less meandering, and it focuses way more on the narrative at hand. Alright, next up, Maz the Booktuber is going to kill me because I didn't like Under the Dome. I think that Under the Dome has one of the best openings of any Stephen King book. It just gets right into it with the nitty-gritty, and it is fantastic. It's just the middle part of this book and the ending part of this book that just... I couldn't wait for it to be over. It just bloated out into nothing. I think that if this book was about 400 pages long, this could be one of the best Stephen King books ever. But it just massively flopped in execution. It just was not done well. It kept dragging on. The ending was shit, but everyone agrees on that. Just not a good book, in my opinion. I hated it. Okay, I have one more opinion to share, but I think I'm gonna do my outro now and then share my final unpopular opinion so that you never have to hear my voice again. I'm not even going to elaborate on it. It's just, I'm going to share this one opinion and then I'm going to lose all of my subscribers. So if you've enjoyed this video, please give it a big fat thumbs up and please consider subscribing for more bookish content from me, and all of my social media links are in the description below. Now I'm going to share my last unpopular opinion. The Stand is overrated. Bye.